and welcome back to another great episode of hashtag Screw the W2. In fact, this is actually the first recording here of 2023, and today I got a great guest on. Actually, kind of connected via LinkedIn, via the Lord of the LinkedIn. I call him Yona Weiss from one of his many LinkedIn challenges. But George Roberts III. George, thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me, John. I've been looking forward to this. It's actually just about a year since I did screw the W2, so this is
Sweet.
practically an anniversary edition.
Nice, very good. So, you kind of give us a little sneak peek, and obviously, it's been a year since you said, see you later to your employer. But taking us back to, what was your old W-2? What was like a normal day or standard day per se?
Right. Well, let me just take you right back super fast. I was a bioscientist. I worked in three fields. Wanted to get a little more freedom, so I went into computer science, became a data scientist, and was liking that for quite a while. But there isn't any loyalty in the corporate world.
Nope.
Doesn't matter how much you do for your employer. It's zero loyalty on the other end. And
hmm
finding out was kind of difficult for me. I did some work that would later win the company award, but rather than get the promotion that I thought I deserved, they actually demoted me. Didn't appreciate the work I
Oh,
was
geez.
doing. Yeah, I had people who said, "Oh man, you should have been promoted for that." It's like, okay, you just got here. You know what actually happened when yeah, so anyway, we won a very prestigious award in our industry, and I could see objectively that the work I was doing was far ahead of what the team was doing. And it was just unbelievable to me. I mean, people say, "Oh, my boss doesn't know anything," but seriously, to report to somebody who just literally doesn't know how to evaluate models and
Yeah.
doesn't know how to pick the better of the two. So anyway, it was right before another financial crisis. It was Brexit, and the company went through a
Mm.
real rough patch. They were losing millions of dollars because our model didn't work. I was told to cease work on this thing. And guess what? I went back and I said, I wonder what my model would have predicted. And of course, we would have rode through it. It would have been smooth
Jeez.
sailing.
Nice.
And
Take it
it
all.
worked for years beyond that too. So for years, it was like the model I made was better than the model that the entire team had put together.
Ugh.
But why we didn't go in that direction, just we'll never know.
Yep. Yeah, I can share similar stories from my days, and I don't miss the corporate world. And I think anyone that has left the corporate world, I don't think I've met one person that says, "Gosh, I really miss that environment. I want to go back tomorrow."
No, I went to an angel investing conference maybe a month ago, and I had to drive by the old place, and I thought, wow, I don't miss it a bit.
Yeah.
There's not a single bit of me that wishes I was driving in that direction. So I just shot
hmm
right on past.
Yeah.
Didn't say hello to anybody.
So now you might have alluded to this a little bit, George, but when you thought you'd get a promotion and then you got demoted, was that your I got to get out of here moment, or was there
Pretty
actually a
much.
different
So
event?
yeah, I
Okay.
did two things. I got a sailboat, and I decided, well, let me take the vacation that the company gives me. Why should I give back the vacation?
Yeah.
That's it's part of my salary here. So I did that, but that was also around the time that I discovered entrepreneurship. My sister said, "Hey, let's build some houses in Troy, Michigan." We're still doing that. We got about three left. We got three foundations to dig, and we will have a
Hmm.
12 residential unit subdivision. So that was a long project. I can't really explain here why that was such a long project, but
Sure.
basically it involved that we wanted to go for a cluster development. So that was a really big fight with the city. They brought out the pitchforks, took a long time. But in the meantime, I said, hey, you know what? Not only do I prefer entrepreneurship to working in the commercial environment or working in the corporate environment, but I want to run my own show. I want
Mhm.
my own gig. And that's when I went into value add multifamily real estate.
Ah, cool. All right. Sounds good. So then you kind of obviously said, you got hoping for a promotion. You got demoted. No loyalty. Wasn't being listened to, even though your models were better, et cetera, et cetera. So once you hit all of that, and like you said, we're on the year anniversary that you did leave your W-2. What were once you had that moment? What were your next steps to getting out of the rat race, so to speak, or getting out of the corporate world?
Well, I just built my runway and I was hoping to leave around, say, 2023.
Okay.
But, hey, it happened a little sooner. But you know what? I was ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the truth. I really stopped, they call it quiet quitting,
Yep.
working like a very long time before the end. And let me just say, when they brought out the wokeness, that when I was completely done, I was just completely done. I thought, what am I going to say a generation from now? I was just following orders?
Yeah.
No, no. So I fought that stuff, and guess what? That I'm sure that contributed to my demise. But you know what? Someday I can tell my grandkids, oh yeah, I fought that stuff. I was a partisan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have like in the World War II sense, I
Yeah.
don't like to be political.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, yeah, take a stand. It's like, hey, I don't agree with this, but fortunately, the corporate world, they're like, no, you must, or out you go. So, so now with like you said, you kind of built your runway. You know, I want to say I want to put words in your mouth, but kind of saw the writing on the wall. But then, what steps did you take? I mean, you've mentioned new developments, your value add multifamily. What was your like first step, and then how did you build upon that so you could
Sure. Well, I'll
say
tell you, I
take a
started
leap?
backwards. I started as an active multifamily investor. I had been in single family for a while. I knew the business, so I thought, well, I'm just going to jump right in this. It would have been better to be a passive investor first. I have also invested passively. I know that on your podcast, you do talk about a variety of alternative investments. So I did like private equity. I invested in some early stage companies. That was actually after I left. But I mean, the whole thing, I mean, I've just this great big drive towards alternative assets and making sure that I'm hedged against the stock market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, as we're recording this, I think what was the report I saw? The S&P 500 was down 19% for 2022, and it was the
Right,
worst decline overall for the stock market since
right.
the Great Recession. And not that I feel bad for him. I mean, it's still worth, nine, 12 figures. I can't do that in my head, but Elon Musk was the first person in history to lose $200 billion in net worth. I mean, ouch.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, since you did mention the S&P, I will tell you a quick story. I did not participate in that decline. I
Okay.
checked yesterday and I want to say I was up like 35%. I
Nice.
mean, I'm up at least 50% over the stock market. I always use the S&P as my guide. And boom, I mean, I have made completely different choices
Hmm.
than the average uh, top 500 weighted companies in the United
Exactly.
States
Yeah, and
market.
I
Yeah.
every year I do a analysis of net worth and passive cash flow. Both have gone up consistently since 2020 since I started keeping track of it, and it's definitely less of a roller coaster than the stock market, shall we say. So,
Yeah.
but all right. So then and maybe we can take a step back. So this was about January of 2022 that you
Yep. January
left then.
20th.
Okay. And then what was like the exact date or how long did it take from when you had your moment of, yep, I got to get out of here to, yep, here's my resignation letter?
Yeah, again, so I think it was sort of a slow burn. It was about 2016. I mean, that's when I realized this
Okay.
is just ridiculous. So I started to look into different types of investing. And again, 2016, that would be the year that I founded my entrepreneurial journey.
Hmm.
So again, it was just a lot of things building. And then maybe around 2020, I mean, that's when I realized this was a madhouse. I want to get out of here as quick as I can.
Yeah. And then 2021 or excuse me, 2022, you're out of it.
Gone.
So, all right. So then with that, and I know you mentioned before you drove by, it's like, yeah, I don't miss this, but I've talked to other entrepreneurs and some say like, well, gosh, I really miss my friend Bob, at the office, or I miss the uh healthcare insurance that the company paid for, anything like that. Are there any regrets or anything that you missed from your previous W-2?
Well, I got to say that paid time off was okay.
Okay.
But even that, I wouldn't say I missed terribly much because, I mean, I can just take time off. Now,
Yeah.
of course, I probably have less time for that now than I did back then. But again, it's all by choice. If the wife
Mhm.
said today, I really want to go someplace, they're on vacation for a week, I could just do it. I would just,
Yeah.
cancel a couple meetings. Maybe I'd have one on the road. We would just get in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. That time freedom above financial freedom, I think, is just important. That but
Yeah.
doesn't get as much credit as I think it deserves. So
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, the sun sets early these days. I know you're in a northern latitude as I am. I'm going to go get my hair done after this, and I'm going to enjoy the 62-degree weather. I'm going to go on a big long hike. I know it's
yeah.
not 62 degrees where you're at,
No,
Minnesota,
it's
but
last I checked it. Well, at the wind chill, I think it said it feels like 5, and I think last I checked, we're at 5 inches of snow. And by the time we get done recording, we'll probably 6 or 7 inches of
well, that's
snow.
yeah, that storm is blowing my way, I'm sure, and it's going to
Yeah,
reach Michigan before we know it.
exactly. So, now, George, we're obviously 1 year, excuse me, 1 year that you've left your W-2, and roughly, 6 years from beginning to end when you said, "Yep, I'm leaving," to "I have left." All encompassing during that whole time, what's been the best part of your entrepreneur journey or leaving that W-2 job?
I don't know if I could pick just one thing, but I have to say that the whole thing has just been exciting. I mean, it's personal growth every day. So rather than some event like, wow, I couldn't have gone on that vacation if it wasn't for leaving, I don't know. But I will tell you that absolutely every day I learn something new and I grow like I could not possibly have done in a corporate environment.
Cool. Yeah, and I think personal growth is, I don't know, maybe some people get in the corporate world, but it's more of a corporate growth that grows on you, not a personal growth yourself. So, all right. Now, as we get close to the end of this, George, and for any, as we started off 2023, we've had the Great Resignation, we've had the pandemic, we've had so many things going on the last couple of years, since you and I first connected. But for anyone out there that maybe sick of the corporate culture, sick of their job, tired of the grind, whatever the case may be, but just is really hesitant of taking that next step to become an entrepreneur, become self-sufficient, become an investor, and whatever the path is, what maybe words of advice or words of encouragement would you give them?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll use a quote from one of my favorite YouTubers, Jay Adelson,
Okay.
and he has an entrepreneurship show, and he'll tell you, you want to keep that W-2, keep it as long as you can, but
Mm-hmm.
when you find yourself focusing on other things, when you're not doing your job responsibilities, when you're focused on that startup, just don't be a douche. Okay. At
Yeah.
some point, you just have to leave. So,
Yeah.
again, I think that it's great advice. Yes, you do want to keep that W-2 for a while, keep it as long as you can. It is security, it is a good thing to have. But again, you want to build that runway every day,
Mm-hmm.
every evening. If you really want to be on the other side, build that every day, every evening, every weekend, so that when you do decide to separate, you don't feel like it was too soon.
Mm-hmm. And maybe I think the old adage, everything costs twice as much as you budget for and takes twice as long. Probably take that same lesson of building that runway of, well, gosh, I think I need X number of dollars or whatever the case is. Maybe just double that just to be on the safe side.
Well, exactly. I'd love it. And build it like you need it tomorrow. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
build the runway.
Exactly. So, all right. Now, last thing, George, and I'll kind of hand this over to you. This is I don't know, call the soapbox moment. One of these days, I might come up with a clever marketing title or something specific to the show. But here we are in 2023. If you want to share, what new projects you're starting, what you're hoping to accomplish in the new year, or if anyone wants to reach out or see what you're, who you're connected with, what you're doing, what's the best way to reach out, and I'll let you take it from there.
So I may be going through some transitions this year. This is
Okay.
the third day of the year that we record this on, so we could talk a little bit about resolutions. I'd like to see my podcast and my YouTube channel monetized. That's a goal. I don't need the
Okay.
money. I'm sure that it's probably going to be change when it comes
Mm-hmm.
back, but it would be nice to see that thing self-sustaining. I just rebranded as the data scientist of real estate,
Oh,
and I
okay.
haven't gotten any email addresses or I hope there's no domain name squatters listening to this. But you may be
I'll
able
hold
to
off on
connect me there in the
publishing until
future.
you tell me you
Thank
got
you.
this
Thank you.
in
That's
the
right. I
bank.
got to go grab that domain. But
Yeah.
seriously, though, I need to, I need to go and find some new ways to find me. But currently, you can get me at George at horizonmultifamily.com. I'll be a part of Horizon Multifamily at least for sometime in 2023, building Roberts Capital Enterprises. But you can always catch me on LinkedIn. So I'm
Yeah.
a huge user of LinkedIn. Yes, we did meet through Yona on LinkedIn. The guy's amazing and the platform's amazing. So yeah, definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Unless you're YouTube promoter or wholesaler, maybe we can put those off to the side for connecting.
Yeah, sure. George Roberts III. You can find me on LinkedIn, George Roberts III. And again, definitely working on the branding this year. Looking forward to fully rolling out the data scientist of real estate.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Well, yeah, maybe I'll just hold off on publishing till you have that domain locked in, and I'll let you know when this goes to publication. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate your time, George, and hope you fared well with the winter storm that's coming your way, and I'll let you know if we survive it on our end.
Okay, good luck with that.
All right. Thanks, George.
All right, take care.